Welcome back, racers and builders. We are here with the third event of the Diecast Olympics, the Decathlon. This event is an accuracy event. This is going to test the builders on how well their cars roll straight. With accuracy events, different from the other ones we have done, you accumulate points round by round in this, so your points carry over. With this event, you are going to use the start gate. We're not doing a time event, so the timing gate is just so everyone gets the same drop. Point scoring starts once you reach this first line of scoring. Higher scores are in the middle. The more you go left and right, the less points you get. If you go off the sides, these point totals go off the sides, but you get -1 for each one. So if you go off in the 1, you get 0, and so on. 9 points for going off either side. If you go off the very end here, there's no penalty for that. That just goes on. There's no penalty for going further, just side to side. Now with a Javelin event, you're typically throwing a javelin, which is a pointed stick. I was thinking of ways to do that on the cars, where I could take something like this, and wherever that point ends for your car, but each car is a little bit different. So what I did, for example, this car has a straight line, that one has a straight line, he comes to a point. The cars that have straight points, where the point ends, that is going to be where your car, how you are going to decide where your car ends in the box. Cars that didn't have that or a hood emblem, I put a yellow sticker. So that is going to identify where your car is going to score a point. So for example, if a car comes up here and is more in this 10, the hood emblem is actually in the 5. So if you had a Javelin, it would have landed in the 5. So that's how that's going to work. It's not where most of your car is. That either point where your car comes to a point on the hood or where your hood emblem is, that is going to be where your marker would land. And that's how we're going to do point scoring for that. Now that we've done 2 events, we have points that have been accumulated over the first 2 events. The first 4 cars that are going to run today have 0 so far. The next 2, which is Travelers and Bad Dad, they have 1 each. And then Abby Normal has 5. Mako and Dog Squab have 8. Puffs has 9. Feral Mods has 10. Iceman has 14. Arlo and Chase both have 17, and Flip has won the first 2 events, so he has 20. So we're going to run them in the order that they have points and go from there. So first up is HSL. We're going to do 2 runs and do our cuts from there. So first up is HSL, and it's T-Bird Stalker for Team USA. First run. That's a 2. Next up, this is the second run for HSL. Another 2. Next up is Stray Dog for his first run. First run for Stray Dog in the Javelin event. Did not make it to that scoring line. Second run for Stray Dog. He needs to score in that 10 if he can get there. He's going straight, he just doesn't have the oomph. Next up is Sloppy Bear. Run number 1. Didn't make it to the scoring line. All right, Sloppy Bear's run number 2. They're rolling straight, but it's not far enough. He made it a little further, but not to that scoring line. All right, next up is Ragin' Ricky in his Pontiac Fiero. He is in the 6. That hood emblem is in that 6 box. This is the second run for Ragin' Ricky. See if he can get straighter and get one of those high points in the middle. He's in the 10. It's a better point score. Next up is Travelers Racing League in his Jaguar D-Type. First run in the Javelin. That's a 20. This is Travelers Racing League second run. Rolling pretty straight, but he's starting to veer here. That is a 10. Next up is Bad Dad's turn in the Javelin event. This is his first run. That is a 10. Hood emblems in the 10. All right, here's Bad Dad's second run. He is not in to cross that line. That's a 0. Next up is Abby Normal. Run number 1 in the Javelin event. Pretty straight, but he is in the 20. All right, this is Abby Normal's second run. See if he can get in those high scoring right in the center. He's straight that time. That's another 20. Next up for the first round here, Dog Squab. It's a 40. Dog Squab second run. He's rolling pretty straight that first run. Did he make the 40 again? He did. All right, it's Puff's turn in the Javelin event. First run. He's veering to the left. He is in the 20 zone. He was in the center, but the more he went left, the less points he got. That's a 20. All right, Puff's got to try to go more in the center for those high scores. He's got the distance, but he's veering left just a slight amount. And by the time he gets to the distance here, he's gone off. It's 20. As you've seen in some of these accuracy events here, well, this is the first one, but as an example, if you're going straight, you need the distance to get higher points, but if you're not completely straight, that speed can hurt you, because the further you're going off, the farther you're getting out of the point range too. So the faster your car is, if it's off slightly, speed can be detrimental in these accuracy events. That's a 10 for Feral Patrick. All right, let's see what Feral Patrick can do on his second run. He went pretty far right that initial run. Going right again. Can he stop in the 20? The point of that Javelin is in the 20. That's a 20 right there. Here's Mako's first run. I skipped over him for some reason. Ooh, he's going left. Oh, that's a 9 because he went off the left before he made the end. 9 points. Mako's second run, he's got to stay in the center as much as he possibly can. He's got the distance to get high points, but he needs to go straight. That's another 9. All right, next up is Iceman. Based on his points, he's currently 4th. This is his first run in the Javelin event. He's going left. That's a 9. All right, Iceman needs to go straight. He's got the distance like Mako, but also like Mako, he went too far left. By the time he stopped, he was off the board. Can he go off the end? Nope. That's a 10 or a 9. All right, we're down to the top 3 in points after 2 rounds. Chase and Arlo are tied 17. Currently, HSL is 10th in the event to try to get points. He needs these guys to score zeros. Uh-oh. He went off in the 2. But his hood emblem is in the 5 zone, so that's a 4. These zones off the side go on for eternity, so even though his car went off here, it would have landed in the 5 zone, but it's off the board, so that's a 4. HSL still has a shot here. He's currently tied for that last spot. He needs Chase to get 0. He's going right again. That's another 4. All right, Chase is on the bubble now. He needs Arlo to score less than an 8 total. Arlo's going pretty straight. He went off the end, so that's 10. All right, this is Arlo's second run. In the Javelin event, he needs to go more straight. He's only getting a 10, going that far off the board. All right, he went off the side before he made the end, so that's a 9. All right, Bad Dad is now on the cut line. He's got 10 points. He needs Flip, who has speed from what we've seen to be not centered, and to veer left or right. This is Flip's first run in the Javelin event. That's a 10. The bottom 5, Stray Dog, Sloppy Bear, HSL, Chase, and Bad Dad. Oregon Outcast Raging Ricky had a 16, which is a high enough gap from Bad Dad to that's a clean cut. They're all going to get 1 run from here on out to add to their scores. First up is Raging Ricky. That's a 10. All right, Iceman needs to get more than an 8 to stay ahead of Raging Ricky. This is his run in the point scoring round. That's a 9. Pico's turn. He needs more than a 9 to stay out of a tie with Iceman. This is his run in the point scoring round. That's a 9. All right, Arlo, he needs better than a 9 or better to stay out of a 3-way tie with Iceman and Mako. Arlo's run in point scoring round for the Javelin went off the side again. That's a 9. All right, it's Flip's turn. He needs an 8 or better. This is his run in the point scoring round for the Javelin. That's a 10. All right, Travelers Racing League already has 30. He needs a big point score here to try to catch up to Dog Squab as these rounds go on. That point is on the too close to tell. I think it's in the 20. All right, let's see what Feral Mods could do. He needs a 20 to match Travelers Racing League. It's a 10. All right, Abby Normal's turn. Point scoring round of the Javelin. He needs to get a 20 or better to try to catch up to Dog Squab. That's a 10. This is Buff's chance in the point scoring round. He's got 40 currently. He and Dog Squad's got 80. So he needs a big haul here. A 20. All right, Dog Squad has a perfect run going. He's gotten a 40 every time. This is his run in the point scoring round. Still going straight. Another 40. We are gonna cut the bottom 4. We've got Oregon Outcast, and then we're gonna do a tiebreaker between Mako and Iceman because they've had 9s every run. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna run both of them, and we're gonna mark whoever goes furthest. Wherever they come off, furthest down the line is gonna win. This is Iceman, tiebreaker with Mako. Came off right here. So we're gonna mark that where he came off. All right, this is Mako's run in the tiebreaker. If he gets a 9 and goes off further, he'll win the tiebreaker. If he scores a 10, he'll win this tiebreaker. If he doesn't score, if he scores less than a 9, then he loses, or if he's behind that point. He was ahead of that mark when he came off, so Mako wins the tiebreaker. So Dog Squad gets 1, Iceman gets 2, Mako gets 3, Arlo gets 4 for the event. All right, this is the second round of point scoring. This is Flip's run. He is currently 10 points behind the guy ahead of him, which is Pharaoh Patrick. He needs to get close to the middle as possible. He's been going right this whole time. That's a 9. All right, Pharaoh Mods, next up. He is 10 points behind the 2 in front of him. He needs to go down the middle if all possible. That is a 20. All right, Pharaoh Patrick, 10 points up on Travelers Racing League. Let's see what they do in their point scoring round, round 2 of the Javelin. That point is in the 20. All right, Abby Normal's got to score a 20 here to answer, or risk being in a tie with Pharaoh Mods and losing a point. He's down the center. Oh, he's going left. That's a 10. All right, it's Puff's turn. Does anything have anything for Dog Squad? He's running away with this. Puff's second run in point scoring. Oh no, it's a 10. That hood emblem is in the 10. All right, perfect run so far. Can it continue? Dog Squad showing everyone how to do it here. A 40. Flips is out that round. That means Pharaoh Patrick and Abby Normal and Travelers and Puffs are still running to figure out the order of that. They're all within 10 of each other. We're gonna run those and mark where they finish and figure out tiebreakers from that. So first up, Pharaoh Patrick. His run in the third round. He got a 20. That's his mark in front of that 2. Next up, Travelers Racing League. He needs a 20 or better. He's going straight. He's going straight. That's a 20. His mark's right there. All right, this is Abby Normal. He needs a 20 or better. It is in the 10. It's just on the other side of that line. All right, this is Puff's run. For possible tiebreakers, if he can get a 30, he gets second. That's a 20. Here goes Dog Squad for the victory lap. Final run. And a 40. All right, here's Puff's mark. And here is Traveler's mark. They are tied in points. Travelers was closer to the center. He was in that 20 square closer to the center. Puffs went farther, but that means he veered. Travelers only veered 1 square and Puffs veered 2. So Travelers was closer to the center. Travelers is going to get second. Puffs will get third. All right, our winner for the Javelin is Dog Squad with a perfect run. 5 consecutive 40-point scores. Didn't even go off the end. He stopped within that zone. Travelers Racing League gets 9 points. Puff gets 8. Feral Patrick gets 7. Abby Normal gets 6. That's the top 5. Then we've got Flips, 5 points. Arlo, 4 points. Mako, 3 points. Iceman, 2 points. And Ragin' Ricky is on the board with his first point of the Decathlon. That means we have run 3 events. A time speed event, a distance event, and now our first accuracy event. We're going to rotate back around to a timed speed event. Currently, the world record time on this track is a 1.710 set by Flip outside of the Olympics. That was a 60 gram modified event, which all of these cars here are 60 gram modifieds. They fall under that category. We are going to find out who is the Olympic record holder in that event. This is the 200 meter sprint. This is going to be a premiere, so you're going to want to watch for that. You can watch it live, comment live as it's playing, and we're going to find out who's got bragging rights for the Olympic record on the 200 meter sprint. All right, thank you once again to the builders for putting on a good show. Someone pointed out that I've got 100 subs. Been busy making these videos and haven't even paid attention to that. That's not why I did this channel. It was for fun, for me and my boys to do something that we're enjoying. Hope you guys are enjoying it too. We're going to get event 4 put together after we get this posted, and we'll see who's got the fastest time. Let's take a look at the point totals after 3 events. Flip is still on top at a 25. Arlo second with a 21. Dog Squad with his win in the Javelin is up to 3rd. He is ahead of Chase and Feral Patrick, as well as Puffs in a 3-way tie. They've got 17 points each. Iceman's 1 behind them with a 16. Then we have Mako, Abby Normal with 11. Travelers Racing League. After 0 points in the first, he is now up to 10 points. Bad Dad and Ragin' Ricky, they've got 1 point each. See if they can build on that in our next event. All right. just to show you guys, this is how I do my R&D here. This is a 60 gram event, so I had to find 60 gram modifieds, which I've got a few in here. So if there's going to be 60 gram cars running on a track or an event, so I can see if it's going to be a fair surface for everybody, it should have similar performance to something I have here. That's a 40. That's how I gauge how a track's going to work, and how I decide the slope, how much run there has to be for it to be a car that'll run the distance of the track, just to give you a little insight. All right, guys, we'll catch you on the next one.